All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to unlock 5 simple keys to making your professional English sound way more polished. These are the little things that give you a real noticeable edge in any business setting. Have you ever had that feeling? You say something in English and you know the words are right, you're pretty sure the grammar is okay, but it just sounds a little off? Yeah, that's a super common feeling, even if you're already at an advanced level. And here's the thing. In a professional world, those tiny, subtle mistakes can sometimes have a surprisingly big impact on how people see you. But the great news, they are so easy to fix. And that's exactly what we're going to do right now. So here's our game plan for sounding more professional. First, we'll tackle the tiny words that make a huge difference. Then, we're going to learn how to dodge some really common subject-verb agreement traps. After that, we'll get into the natural flow of using words like make and let. We'll also power up our vocabulary with some precise word choices. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with some natural business phrases. Sound good? Let's go. Okay, key number 1, small words, big impact. We're talking about articles. You know, those little guys. A, an, and the. Just look at this. See how one tiny missing word can change the entire feel? It would be advantage just sounds clunky, maybe even a little broken. But pop in that one little word, an. It would be an advantage, and bam! The sentence is instantly correct, professional, and clear. So how do we get this right every time? Think of it like this. A or an is for when you introduce something new, like I have a plan. But the is for when you're talking about something specific that everyone in the conversation already knows about, like let's discuss the plan we made yesterday. And when you're talking about general ideas or groups of things, you often don't need an article at all. You just say, engineers solve problems. It's a simple framework, but it makes all the difference. Now let's move on to our second key, how to dodge those pesky subject-verb traps. This is one of those areas where even really advanced speakers can trip up, so let's clear it up. Okay, one of the biggest culprits here is what's called an interrupting phrase. This is when a bunch of extra words sneak in between your subject and your verb, and they're basically designed to confuse you. The secret is to always find the real subject of your sentence. This is a classic example. When you say the list of bugs are long, your brain sees bugs, which is plural, right next to the verb, and it just wants to say are. But you have to ignore that interruption. What are we really talking about? We're talking about the list, one list. So the list is long. You got to find that true subject. Next up are collective nouns, words like team, company, management. Now, even though they're talking about a group of people, in American English, we almost always treat them as a single thing, so they're singular. So, instead of saying the team are working, you'd say the team is working. You're thinking of the team as one unit, one entity. And here's a fantastic rule to just burn into your brain. Words like everyone, everybody, each, and nobody are always singular. I mean, always. There are no exceptions. It might feel like they're plural, but grammatically, nope, they're singular. So you would never say, everyone have completed it. The correct way is everyone has completed it. It's a small switch, but it makes a huge difference in how polished you sound. All right, let's get to key number 3. This one is all about getting that natural, smooth flow in your English. We're going to look at 2 special verbs, make and let, and how they use something called the bare infinitive. Sounds fancy, but it's actually super simple. The formula is just beautiful in its simplicity. You start with make or let. Then you add an object, like me or the team. And then, and this is the magic part, you use the main verb in its simplest form, without the word to. That's the bare infinitive. It's what makes a sentence sound so natural. Just listen to the difference in these examples. Let me to explain feels so stiff and awkward, right? But if you just drop the to, you get let me explain. It's smooth, it's quick, it's perfect. Same thing with the deadline made me work faster, not made me to work. Honestly, this little trick is a total game changer for sounding fluent. Okay, time for key number 4, using precise and powerful words. When you choose the exact right word, it shows a much deeper level of understanding and makes your communication so much clearer. Let's look at a couple of words that often get mixed up. First, we have vulnerable versus formidable. They might not seem connected, but people mix them up. Vulnerable means something is weak or easy to attack, like the system is vulnerable. But formidable is the opposite. It means something is powerful and impressive, like Google is a formidable competitor. They're worlds apart. Here's another common one. Spend versus spare. You spend time or money that you're actively using or allocating. Like, I spend 3 hours commuting every day. But you spare time or money that you have extra of. Hey, can you spare 5 minutes for a quick call? One is about using a resource, the other is about having an extra bit of it to give. And that brings us to our fifth and final key, using natural business language. This is all about something called collocations, which is just a fancy way of saying words that native speakers naturally put together. Using these is a true sign of fluency. For example, you can definitely present an idea, that's fine, but when you're really trying to sell it and persuade someone, you pitch an idea. It's like a pitcher in baseball throwing a ball. You're tossing your concept out there, hoping someone will catch on. So you end up with a sentence like this. She pitched her concept to the management team. Can you hear how much more active and dynamic that sounds? It's great business language. Okay, this one is absolutely critical. In business, you always make a profit. A really common mistake is to say do a profit or get a profit. It's always, always make a profit. If you remember one collocation from today, make it this one. For instance, the startup made a profit in its second year. It's just clean, professional, and the only way to say it correctly in a business context. And there you have it, your brand new communication toolkit. Let's do a super quick recap. Key 1, nail your articles. Key 2, always match your verb to the real subject. Key 3, remember to drop the to after make and let. Key 4, choose precise, powerful words. And Key 5, use those natural word pairs, those collocations. These 5 tools will seriously make your English sound more polished, starting right now. So we've reached the end of this breakdown, but really, this is just the beginning for you. Looking at these 5 keys, I have a question. Which one are you going to focus on first? Which key will you start using today to really elevate your professional English?